Hello, everyone. Thank you again so much for joining our very first council-wide troop leader meeting. For the last couple of years, we've been doing Cub leader meetings periodically, and we thought we'd give it a shot for troops. If you haven't been to one of our Cub ones, kind of what we do here is the field staff. We talk a little bit, about 25, 30 minutes about various topics that are coming up that is very pertinent to troops in the Greater Hudson Valley Council, and then we leave it up for open discussion. So let's get started. So tonight, our agenda, we have a safety moment, and then we're going to talk about five things that you should know coming up. Quick things that you should know coming up for troops. Then we're going to touch base on the nuts sale that we launched last week, Earth Day service project, summer camp. And then we're going to talk about family troops. So kind of go into it a little bit, and then we have a couple of troop leaders who have experience with first, they were separate, linked girl and boy troops, and now they are officially family troops. So we're going to get from their perspective, and I believe they were part of the pilot program as well in this last year. All right, so let's get started. Liam?
All right, so let's talk about winter activity safety. As we all know, we are officially in winter now. This upcoming weekend on Saturday, we're looking at a high of 15 degrees Fahrenheit in Fishkill. So it's officially cold now. And in order to be safe while we're out cold, because as scouts, we don't just hide inside all winter. We go out and enjoy what nature has to offer. Um, we need to be safe while we're doing it. And so I want to talk a little bit about keeping ourselves warm, particularly when we're cold weather camping. So we have this acronym, because as scouts, we love acronyms, for cold. So starting off with C is clean. And in terms of having our insulation and our insulating layers, we need them to be clean and fluffy. Things like dirt, grime, and sweat can very quickly reduce the ability of one of our layers to keep us warm. Number two, overheating. We really want to avoid overheating because as we start to overheat, we start to sweat. And as I just mentioned, sweat starts to make our layers dirty and they stop being as effective. So the way to avoid that is adjust your layers as you're going around to keep yourself feeling comfy but not hot while you're out doing stuff, and make sure that you're staying hydrated by drinking plenty of water. It doesn't matter that it's not hot out. You can uh, very easily become dehydrated even when it's cold out. Same way that you can very easily get a sunburn if the sun is out, even if it's cold otherwise. So, L, we got loose layers. A steady flow of warm blood is essential to keeping all parts of your body heated. Wear several loosely fitting layers of clothing and footwear that will allow maximum insulation without blocking your circulation. Having clothing that is brightly colored is also a good idea. We're talking like oranges and reds, so that again, if you're out in the woods, you don't want hunters and sportsmen to mistake you for wildlife. And then finally, again, trying to keep our heat in efficiently. You always want to be wearing a hat. The head will lose a lot of body heat very quickly. We talk about that a lot in aquatics. Um, but whether it's cold water or cold air, wearing something to keep the top of your head warm, very important. So, last piece, you want to stay dry. Sweaty and damp clothing and skin can cause your body to cool very quickly, which is good during hot times, but obviously less helpful during the cold months, which can then lead to frostbite and or hypothermia. So you want to keep dry by avoiding clothes that absorb moisture. Again, we have that saying, cotton kills. And we always want to brush snow off our clothes before we enter a heated area. And keep the clothing around your neck loose so that just enough body heat and moisture can escape without starting to soak through your layers. And the last piece I want to hit for a safety moment is that eating the right food and the right types of food when you're out in the cold is also super important. We like to think about this as trying to build a fire within our own bodies. So, for example, basically, you want to start with making sure that you have sugar, which sort of your fire starter, having carbohydrates and proteins, which act as your kindling. And then we need the fats that produce the energy we need to keep the fire burning and our bodies running at peak performance. And as I said earlier, hydration is super key. Drink when thirsty. Again, plan on periodic hydration stops to remind your scouts to stay hydrated. um, and avoid sort of those energy drinks because they're not going to give you what you need to stay warm long term. You really want water or some sort of one of those sportsy kind of drinks like a Gatorade for that. So please, please, please stay warm, especially if you're going camping this weekend, and stay safe in cold weather. Back to you, John.
Thank you, Liam. All right, five things to know coming up. The Silver Beaver is the highest award a council can bestow upon a volunteer. Nominations are due February 28th, so if you know someone that is deserving of this great award, please check out ghvscouting.org/silverbeaver to download the application, and there's instructions on how to submit the nomination. So we need those by February 28th. Also, in December, the executive board released the strategic plan for the next 3 years. I encourage you all to take a look at it. It goes into the details of fundraising, growing, and all those good things. So definitely check it out. Then we have our Wood Badge Fellowship Dinner, which is Liz.
Sunday, March 15th.
Thank you, Liz, and that is at Ollie Park in
Walden.
Walden. Thank you. And so it is for all Wood Badgers, those working on tickets, and then anyone that is interested in taking Wood Badge, definitely go and visit that dinner. It is a lot of
Oop, I think we might have lost John there for another moment. Let's see.
It's so much fun. It cut him off because it could not contain the amount of fun that the Wood Badge dinner is.
here. Am I
Oh,
here? Do
all
I
right, we're back.
exist?
John's
Oh my
back.
goodness. Okay.
Now you're
All
back.
right. Camera off. All right. So, Merit Badge. What did you last year? I was just rambling for a second
Oh my,
there.
they could not hear how much fun the Wood Badge dinner was going to be because that's when it cut out. But
Oh, that's how fun it is.
that's how
So it
fun
is
it
a lot
is.
of fun. So, and then of course we have our Merit Badge College coming up. It's at John Jay High School in Hopewell Junction. It is Saturday, March 21st. We're very excited for that. And it is going to, and the registration for that event takes place, it opens up on February 18th. So be on the lookout for that. The participant guide is going to be released at the end of the month, and we're looking forward to that. So also, 2026 is the 250th anniversary of America, and we're very excited. Scouting America as a whole is a partner in the America 250 program, and our camporee coming up March 1st through 3rd at Thomas Bull Memorial Park in Montgomery. We are so excited to have our council camporee again. We're probably expecting, we had over 1,000 last time. We're probably looking at 1,500. Our stretch goal is 2,000 participants. And this camporee is the Grand American Camporee. Pursuit of Liam. What was it again? Life,
Life,
liberty, and the
liberty, and the pursuit of
pursuit of
scouting.
scouting.
Yep.
Yes. And so it's a mouthful. And it's going to be covering the many time periods of our nation, and we're really looking forward to it. So the Camporee committee is planning it, and there's going to be more information out soon, but definitely be on the lookout for that information. It's going to be May 1st through 3rd this year. Last week we launched our nut sale information, but you can head on over to ghvscouting.org/nuts or scan the QR code there to get information on the nut sale. It's a take order sale. You just get 33% commission. It is a great fundraiser to help send scouts to summer camp, and all the information is there, so definitely check it out. Also, save the date. Returning this spring is the Earth Day Service Project council-wide, April 1st through 30th. We did it for the first time last year. We're doing it again. So please be on the lookout for that. Another thing I'm very excited about is summer camp. We have 3 great properties. 2 of those properties have summer programs up at Camp Reed in the Adirondacks, and of course, Camp Bullowa. Rah,
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 Bullowa.
Bullowa.
Thank you, Liam. And this is a mailer that is coming out this very, very soon. We should be getting it out there It's out in the mail. Bulk mail takes a little bit, but every single family is going to be getting this brochure. So this is one side of it where it goes into detail on all of the different pricing for the summer programs, talks a little bit about our year-round camping rentals at 3 camps that we own. Um, and then just to show you, want to show you some Scouts PSA stuff. We do have day camp programs at our at Camp Bullowa for Scouts PSA. We have 3 weeks of day camp, and then we have 2 sessions of Eagle Week as well. And also, we're always looking for camp staff for both Camp Bullowa and at Camp Reed. And then Camp Reed is coming up. 4 camps, 1 reservation. How do you want to eat your food? Buckskin, you'll be eating in a dining hall at Wapika. You'll be cooking with your troop. Then we have a high adventure base, the Summit base, and STEM Ranch, where we have horses and we have all the STEM activities. Lots of different things go there. So definitely check this out. This is the other part, treks that goes, canoeing treks, Super Troopers, where scouts can go without their troops, or they can go maybe a second week. And also, we have NYLT coming up. We have 2 courses, one in the spring at Durlin and another one at Camp Bullowa in the summer. One of the things that we really want to do is we want to come visit you at your troop meetings, at a court of honor, or any or a parent meeting or anything. This is me presenting a camp promotion at Troop 386 in Montgomery, and we hand out a ribbon each year to hang on the troop flag as a thank you for letting us come and talk about camp. So we'll come talk about Camp Reed, Camp Bullowa, answer any questions, and all those good things. Any questions about camp? All right. Okay. So let's talk about family troops. Um, Scouting America has gone through a lot of changes in the last couple of years, and even more years before that. And girls could do all programs in Scouting America, beginning in 2019. I still remember um, girls crossing over from pack. Courtney, what pack
Two
was
two
that?
five.
Uh,
225.
pack 255, 255, and it was your daughter, and she crossed over into Troop 31, and I still remember that because the National Council actually shared it on their social media, and she's an Eagle Scout now, so I feel super old, and so very excited
Hmm.
about that.
I mean,
And so yeah, but we've had girls in our program since the 70s with exploring, and then the 90s venturing has been co-ed. So I think this is something that we all expected. And I think one of the important parts with family troops to understand is that it is completely optional. If you have a boy troop or you have a girl troop and you want to stay that way, you stay that way. But this is just the third option. Just like with Cub Scout packs, you can have a boy pack, you can have a girl pack, or you can have a family pack. So that's the addition with family troops. So I just want to talk a little bit about some of the best practices and the decision guide that the National Council released. If you scan that QR code there, it actually takes you to our council post about it on our webpage, where you can download the forms that you need about best practices and making the decision and filling out the intent to convert form. And there's also guides on there if you are a family troop and you want to switch back to being a boy or girl troop, things like that. So, why family troops? It allows boys and girls to participate in one troop structure. Um, this model, it could work when it reflects the needs of the local community and the charter organization, right? The charter organization has to be the final decision maker there. Separate troops remain a strong option. Family troops is just as simply another tool that communities can use to deliver the scouting program. So when we're talking about leadership and culture, right, it's really important if you're combining the troops together a shared vision and strong communication among the adult leaders are especially critical. One scoutmaster serves at a time, and that scoutmaster is supported by a diverse team of assistant scoutmasters. All leaders should be fully trained and supported. Troops should be inclusive and remove barriers to adult participation when possible. For youth leadership, the patrol method remains central to success. We encourage youth leadership training like going to NYLT or ILST. It's essential. All scouts should have equal access to leadership roles and advancement opportunities. Um, focus on cooperation and respect, and really, really work to avoid the us versus them dynamics that can happen. For operation and safety, family troops must follow all guide to safe scouting and youth protection policies. Separate sleeping and tenting arrangements are required for male and female youth. Clear expectations and a shared code of conduct help set a positive tone. So with the youth protection stuff, like not they didn't add anything. They didn't add to the the safeguarding youth stuff. It's all the policies that we've already had. It's just you know it's just now you're a family troop. Um, and of course, scouts should never be excluded from activities due to leadership challenges. Plans should be adjusted instead. And I know that Courtney and John will be able to expand a little bit on that. Of course, growth in recruitment uh, is super important. Family troops, it can be a powerful tool. Um, sending a clear message that there's going to be a Scouts PSA troop for both boys and girls. There we are in the Greater Hudson Valley Council. We are facing the struggle of girls who are bears, Webelos, Aero Light Scouts that may not have a place to go, and it can be hard to start a new troop. So if a boy troop that wants to switch over to being a family troop, that's a nice option for girls who are in the Cub Scouting program. And year-round recruiting and consistent communication are key. And I think the most important thing, right, is that there is no one-size-fits-all approach, right? Units, families, charter organizations should choose the model that best supports the youth leadership, safety, and positive scouting experience. Um, it's just funny, depending on where you are, we have units down in southern Westchester that will never be a family troop, and we have units up, in Sullivan County that are family units. It just depends. It just depends on what works for you. So also, when you scan that QR code, you'll see a decision guide. Units should utilize this when making decisions, right? So who's the person that makes the decision? This is a question I get a lot. Um, you know, the charter organization has the final approval, right? Adult volunteers, parents, families, and scouts themselves, they all have um, 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 uh, those are all the players that should be involved in making the decision. It's important that broad support. Um, sorry, I'm having internet issues. Broad support is essential. If consensus cannot be reached, the conversion to a family troop should not move forward. Some key questions to consider. Is the current troop structure meeting the needs of youth and families in your community? Is there strong interest and support for a family troop? Are there nearby troop options already serving families effectively? Are there cultural, personality, or leadership challenges that could impact success? Um, does anyone have personalities and troops that you have to navigate, right? Um, how will traditions and troop identity be honored or blended? Some operational considerations. The units should discuss the troop number, identity, adult leadership structure, youth leadership opportunities for all the scouts, the financial assets, equipment, meeting times, locations, advancement tracking, all those things. Units must be able to fully meet the youth protection and barriers to abuse requirements. Appropriate registered leadership of both genders must be available for activities involving mixed gender youth. That goes along with there has to be a female registered leader whenever a female youth is present at a scouting activity. And the final thing here is the family troop decision should be a deliberate, inclusive, and scout focused. And so these are some of the tools that are available to help make that decision. Um, I could say on the council side of it, we've had a bunch of units reach out to us about wanting to start family troops and get the ball rolling. The very first thing that you need to do, though, is that you have to fill out the intent to convert form and then email it to our registrar Joy at ghv.registration@scouting.org. So definitely check that out. But I want to turn it over to Courtney Grogan, who is the district commissioner for the Hudson Delaware District. She's also the, I guess now former scoutmaster of the Girl Troop 4031, right? Are you
Correct.
scoutmaster of the combined troop
No,
or
Mark
family
is.
troop?
Nope.
Yep.
Mark is our
So
new member coordinator.
all right. So Courtney has been serving as scoutmaster for what, 5 years? I
Hmm.
believe. And John Llewellyn is the committee chair of the newly minted Family Troop 1071 in Milford, Pennsylvania. So I just want to leave it up to you guys to add anything that you think is some best practices that's worked for you, and then we can open it up for questions for folks.
Sure. Like John said, we chartered that first day, I think it was February 1st, 2019, that we were allowed to submit our application. We started with the 5 girls. Our chartered org at the time had requested that we try to just treat everybody as a scout, not as boy girls. So we were kind of pretty much combined from the beginning. We kept our girls separate in patrols, but we still did everything together. And for us, that worked because we had the boys who had the experience to edge and mentor the ladies as we were going through it. We have changed some things along the way just to see how it works, especially when going through the pilot and we were allowed to integrate them a little bit more. But we've left it up to our scouts to make a lot of the decisions. Did they want to all the girls stay in their own patrol? They had 2 patrols, they were happy there, or did they want to integrate themselves? And out of my 13 girls, 12 of them wanted to be mixed in with the boys. They did not want to remain in a patrol of just the females. So we did a trial 6-month period of it to make sure that it worked and integrated them in. Currently, out of our 6 patrols, 3 of them are patrol leaders. We have our assistant patrol leader now is a female. Um, it's amazing to sit at a PLC and see how it works with the female patrol leaders and the boys. And I have to say, for us, that integration of them, the girls and boys being mixed in their patrols, has made the troop the strongest that it's been than when the girls were separated. They really work well together. Um, for us, we just found the girls and boys were kind of working in competition, which was great for summer camp because the boys showered. So that was a hit. It was nice to have the ladies there for that. The girls did not shower, but the boys did. So it's just been nice that they are competitive, but again, we have a lot of sisters and brothers, as you know, the families are in there. Again, it's very nice. Them combined in, we have found works best for us. They really work well. We also have, just our troop happens to have 6 different school districts within our troop. So just the intermingling and a lot of them not knowing each other, it's really nice to see the friendships outside of scouting that has formed with all of them.
How many
And
scouts do you
leadership,
have, Courtney?
64.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And
And we
13 of
just
them are girls?
yeah, we had we have 2 eagles, 2 girls out of eagles. I have 2 that are about ready to eagle, and we just got 3 new girls. And they're
Nice.
the cutest thing. They're like this big. And let me tell you, they are taking over, and it's great to see. But that's kind of our story. I mean, any questions? Um, like
John,
yeah,
John, do you
John
want
was
to share what's happening with 1071 Milford?
I would love to. And for anybody who doesn't know already, the one rule in whether it's a council event or a district event is never follow a Grogan. Um, I'm in the unlucky position of following a Grogan. Um, yeah, so we started, we had very distinct lines drawn the girls had their own meeting space. The boys met, the girls met upstairs, boys met downstairs. Um, at that time, I was the Boy Scout master, so I would send some of my troop guides up. If I knew they were doing some type of skill stuff, I would send a troop guide up to help them out. Um, and that kind of built a trust and a familiarity between the two sides, um, to the point where even before the pilot came out, we were basically meeting as one large troop. Um, since the pilot started, and now that we're fully recognized family troop, um, things are going really well with the youth. They get along, they respect each other, they look out for each other. Uh, Summer camp is amazing. The level of the level of shenanigans has greatly reduced since the girls have been there. They're kind of a calming influence in some respects. I guess the biggest piece of advice would be to make sure that your adult leaders are fully prepared um, for the experience and fully understanding of what it takes to pull that off.
I agree with that.
Awesome. Did um I know Courtney, you touched on it a little bit. Your charter organization has been lockstep with you with the troop committee and your family. But John, did you have any concerns from your chartering organization or
Uh,
any hurdles you had to cross when get the combined
not
pilot?
not really.
Okay.
We had the two units. We did have a meeting with the pastor of the church and our COR um, before they signed off on the pilot paperwork. Uh, and their concerns were more about the interaction between the boys and girls. And we kind of put it to them this way: hey, the church has a youth group, right? Well, yeah. And the youth group is co-ed, right? Well, yeah. And the youth group does overnight activities, whether it's a camping trip or staying in a hotel or whatever. Well, yeah. I said this is really no different. We all of our leaders have training um, for the YPT training, now the safeguarding youth training. It's no different. We're probably better prepared than your youth group leaders are to handle this situation. And they saw it pretty quickly that we were right there.
Okay. Awesome. Any questions for Courtney or John? Oh, go right ahead.
Thanks. So, and thanks for sharing all that information. So we're a boys troop here in Croton, and we're investigating, the options for girls. Thinking back to 2019 to begin with, um, what was the conversation like with the existing boys in the troop around the prospects of bringing girls into the mix?
So I have to say, when we first, obviously we brought it to our COR and we brought it to our parents and to the troop, each separately. The boys really didn't say much. Their concerns were crazy things like, well, are the girls going to have to do all the cooking? Are the girls going to sleep someplace else? It was just simple logistic things were the boys' biggest questions. Um, we really honestly we were very, very lucky. We did not have many issues. I would say our biggest obstacle were a couple of the dads versus any of the youth.
Yeah, I don't think we had any problems on the youth level either. The boys were, I don't want indifferent sounds really bad, but they were kind of indifferent
That's
to it. And then
that's true.
once we started doing more things together, activity wise, and then camping trips and things like that, it just all the pieces kind of fell into place.
So can you share a little bit how you went about the process with engaging with the parents in this whole thing?
Sure. For us, our committee meetings every month are open to our parents. So we have a large number of parents that come to our committee meetings already. On average, we have about 25 parents there. So we have their ear. Um, so they were really, they had heard the talks and us anticipating that we would like to do this. So they were really they were in every step of the way. It wasn't like we made the decision and then presented, hey, this is the decision we made. So we really included them in the decision making process and kind of laid out the groundwork for what it was going to look like ahead of time. I think just having them actively involved in it really helped. We did have a couple that were opposed to it, but not opposed that they were going to get in the way of it. They just stated that they weren't completely happy with it, but it was a wait and see. Um, Both parents are still with us and are very happy with the way that it turned out.
Yeah, I think we announced it that we were going to be participating in the pilot program. Um, and if anybody had any questions or concerns, we would be more than happy to discuss them and answer what questions they had. And we really didn't get too much pushback from the parents. I think my wife is on. She was the committee chair at that point. I don't think you even field any?
We had one, it wasn't the scout, it was the parents who had a bit of a concern. They didn't believe that it was the right move. However, they are still around, and their scout is on the verge of working on his Eagle project. So I'm assuming they haven't voiced any more concerns, and they've kind of realized that it really didn't change much and that the program is still the same. We're just able to offer it to additional scouts.
Yeah, it's one of those topics where um, some people are going to have that immediate pearl clutching reaction, and then once they see the execution, all those fears, all those concerns kind of just melt away.
I'd like to just add as like district commissioner, I've gone in to speak to a couple of units who and talk to their CORs who they were trying to open to the idea of having the girls. It was helpful to bring in a boy and a girl from my troop and let them hear from the youth themselves of how it worked. Um, that just worked really well with a couple of the units around here.
Yeah, and another way to, if you're having any concerns from the youth, especially, is get them involved with OA, get them involved with NYLT, where they're in a co-ed um, environment, and like the OA kids and the NYLT kids, and there's a lot of crossover between the two. Uh, they're some of the best. They're some of the best kids that I've ever been around, um, and they just make everything work so well. I've never had an issue between boys and girls at an OA event or at NYLT. It's it just works. Um, it's one of those things. Like I said, the initial reaction is the pearl clutching by the parents, or the boys. I don't want no girls around. The He-Man Women Haters Club thing, and it all goes away once it actually starts working, gelling.
Maybe an operational question. Is there such a thing as a linked troop now, or is that
Yes.
there is?
Yeah, so a link troop, right? That's when there is a separate girl and a boy troop, right? But where they're linked is that they share the same charter organization and committee. So they have separate scoutmasters. They might do like opening and closing together. But they are linked, but they have separate youth leadership structure and a separate scoutmaster,
Okay. And
which has been the case since 2019.
so that's what it was in 2019. And
Yep.
my understanding is that something like the PLC would be different in that
Yep.
scenario. That has to be separate versus a family troop where they can be together
Right.
on PLC.
Right. One senior patrol leader and one scoutmaster. Yep.
Okay, maybe one more question for me before.
Sure. Go ahead.
Been thinking about it, right? So,
Hmm.
just in terms of, the process of bringing girls into the troop in either form, any recommendations around um, best practices there? Are we more inclined to just kind of present a reasonably fully formed view on how it should work, or should we solicit more kind of open-ended, how do you think it should, what's important to you with scouting? How would you feel if girls were in the troop? Stylistically, just trying to approach the stakeholders. One way is, like I said, kind of give them a path. The other way is give them an open field to work with. I'm wondering if you have any thoughts there.
One of the things I would start with, right? So you're in Croton. I know Pac 28 Croton has girls in the pack, right? And they don't have a girl troop to go to, I don't believe, and that's very close. Um, they would probably have to go up to Beacon. Am I right? Would that be the closest one, Liam? Um,
Yorktown, maybe.
I might
Yorktown.
have
Okay,
even
yeah.
been Montrose, if I'm remembering correctly.
Montrose, yeah. So, you know, I, how I would look at it, right? And please, Courtney, interrupt me. Is looking at that, right? There's a need. Girls are in Croton. There's no girls. I don't. There's no girls in Ossining right now.
No.
They don't have girls in that pack. They're a boy pack. I think they're trying to become a family pack. So there's that Croton and Ossining area is in need of a girl troop for sure. Um, so Troop 28 Croton has a strong tradition. You guys are a strong unit. You guys go to summer camp. Lots of tradition there. I think it's start where you're gonna get girls involved is looking at the pack, seeing how many aero lights are coming up, and then with that, if the leadership is also gonna have to come from the pack coming up, right? Parents that and whatnot. Sometimes you get lucky where there might be already a female assistant scoutmaster in the troop. Courtney, do you want to add to that?
No, I mean, definitely leadership you have to have, and don't limit yourself to one female. You need a couple of female leaders. If one can't make it, you don't want to have to tell the girls they can't go.
Right.
You always need that female. Really try to get as many female leaders as you can, just so you have those backups. But I also, again, always, it's great to go visit other units and see how it works. Most units are very open. Like we love people coming to visit. They're open for visitors to come and see how the units are run and go see how each different unit works, a linked, a combines, and see from them directly what works.
Do you have, I mean, has the conversation been touched at all in Croton?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
because we're well aware of what's coming up with the pack. So
Right.
we want to have an option for them. Um, Recruiting is obviously important. I personally believe that a healthy pack, or excuse me, a healthy troop should be somewhere around 40 scouts. We're down to about 25, right? So there's that um, that whole dynamic that we're trying to address as well. And with that, there's our school system is very supportive of us going in for recruiting. We're trying to be more proactive recruiting at the older scout level, past the Cubs, which means you're into the middle school. Well, gee, if you're going into the middle school at these commingled events, you better have a pretty clear answer of what it is that you're doing in terms of, girls or boys in the troop going into that space. I would probably be even, I'm also inclined to say that, if I'm a school business administrator, like if you're not offering it to both, then, it's a little bit of a
Mhm.
challenge there too for you to come on the property to do some of that stuff. So our timeline is really May to try and understand how it is that we're going to, if we're going to present a program, which I would say 85% of the chance that we are, then it's okay, well, which type of program, what's the structure going to look like? How can we represent it to people coming in so that they can feel confident that there's something there for them? That's kind of where we are. And the thoughts here are super helpful. I do appreciate that. I think visiting another troop is a great idea. So that's super helpful. Thank you.
Liam, what are some of the Croton River girl the link troops there?
So there is definitely Yorktown is a strong one. Carmel, a little bit further away, but still very, very strong. Um, we've also got we do have Montrose, definitely a bit of a smaller unit. Mayapack as well is another option.
Yep.
So
I think it's also important, right? Sometimes it doesn't work out.
mhm.
Sometimes it just doesn't, you know, I'll just give you a story of in Yorktown, the Yorktown troop, they
164.
they were part of the pilot program. And what ended up happening with the pilot program is, they still have they're going to be a family troop, but a patrol of girls decided that they only wanted to be part of a girl troop, so they started their own girl troop. So there's another unit there. So we have in Yorktown there's a boy troop, there's a family troop, and there's a girl troop, depending on how you want to do scouting. Um, so it's okay. There's no wrong or right answer. The council is not pushing one way or the other. It's an option that's been working for many, many communities. Any other questions we can answer? It's interesting in my
I gotta
experience.
say, John,
Oh yeah, sorry. Go
this
ahead.
is this is the quietest I've ever seen Liz DeCecco.
I'm really new on the troop scene and all, and so but this is super interesting because my youngest one, she's a wolf, and so for us, we have the option of a family troop nearby and a girls troop nearby and another girls troop 20 minutes away. So this is really interesting to see. Like I don't foresee my son's troop becoming a family troop, but this is really interesting to see like the dynamic and how things have started and formed and all. So it's a fabulous educational experience for me.
Mm. So that's the purpose of these meetings. I'm
If it
gonna
makes you
use
feel,
that for my commercial for the next one, so we get more people here.
if it
Um,
makes you feel any better, John, I presented in the Cub meeting at 7 p.m. So I
there
got my
you go.
talking in then.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry I missed it. I was running a troop committee meeting.
You missed a great
Okay.
thing by me and John DeFran, but so yeah, good times.
So the one thing I'll say, what I've seen, working for the Scouts, with some of the pushback that we get from girls, having their own troops or or whatever in the different communities. There's just some that it's almost like they don't want to hurt the feelings of any Girl Scout units that are around. I think what's important is to know it's a different program. Um, and I would say it's probably more likely than not that if a girl joins a troop with us, they didn't want to join the Girl Scout troop. Um, so just
Or
for example, like my kid, she's in Cub Scouts. She doesn't have to be just because of my extreme involvement. And she tried Girl Scouts and it wasn't for her. She likes her friends that are in Cub Scouts. So that's why we're there. And we're already starting to look at troops that dawned on me. I was like, oh my gosh, she is almost 10. I have to look around. And
wow, she's almost 10.
I know. So, you know, everyone has to make their own decision.
And to say that our five out of our five founding girls, four of them were Girl Scouts. One of them did continue on to make her gold, and she was a Golden Eagle. She made her gold and her Eagle, so it is feasible to be in both programs, as they are quite different. Um, but to say the recruiting age of the middle schoolers, that seems to be a time when the girls, if they're dropping out of Girl Scouts, it's around that age level. And that's when we tend to pick up a few of the girls that they see their brothers doing things or family members or whatever. Their Girl Scout units may not be meeting as regularly. And that seems to be a big age of crossing them over into the Scouts BSA.
Yeah, I'll second that wholeheartedly. My daughter wasn't a Cub, she was in Girl Scouts. Um, she got into sixth grade, seventh grade. She earned her silver award, and then there was nothing left for her to do. She couldn't work on her gold award until she got into high school, and she was still early in middle school. So, it became, well, what now? Um, and she decided to give the troop a try, and she hasn't looked back. She's a Life Scout. She's working on Eagle now, and she still has the ability to go back and do the Gold Award, which was something that she said she wanted to do too as well. But yeah, that middle school age, if they're not already coming up through the pack, that middle school age is really important to bring them into the fold.
Are we calling it extreme involvement in scouting now, John? Is that what it is?
I think that is what he's calling it. I don't know if he's back yet after dropping his internet. But any other questions about the family troops? Okay. Well, while John's working on reconnecting, I would like to pitch as well. Um, Another great way for youth to get the chance to sort of experience a co-ed environment in scouting is working at summer camp. Hey, Camp Reed, we're hiring. Camp Bullitt, we're hiring. Um, Again, also, we are looking to again visit every unit in the council, both Cub Scouts and Scouts BSA, to here he is, um, to talk about camping. And so. Again, probably will be your field manager that will be the one that reaches out to schedule it. But if you have a perfect date for it, please reach out to us because again, we got a lot of people to reach out to, and we don't want to miss any great opportunities. So back to you, John.
Awesome. I want to be respectful of everyone's time. We try to keep these to just under an hour. So if this is us as the field staff. We usually have all four, but we have two of them are on vacation. One is on a cruise, and one is on his way to Mexico. Hopefully, he comes back. And so again, my name is John Whitaker. I'm the field director for the Greater Hudson Valley Council, and Kim handles the west side of the river. She's also the camp director for Camp Bullitt. Liam is the Duchess and Croton River field manager. It's the Order of the Arrow and a whole bunch of other stuff at Camp Reed. Eric Lewis handles the Southern District, Algonquin and Mohegan, assistant camp director at Camp Bullitt. And yeah, he handles a bunch of stuff too. So we're always here. You can always reach out to the office for stuff as well. So before we leave, though, I'd love to open it up. Any questions that it doesn't have to be about family troops, it can be about anything at all. What the Buffalo Bills are doing,
Hey,
anything.
hey, John, I got a question. What would be a
Sure.
great way for a troop to connect with a pack?
Oh, well, easiest thing to do is to call them.
Mhm.
Just make that initial visit, and you're like, hey, how do I call them? You know, you could go to beascout.org, type in your zip code. Those are the packs around you. If you don't already have one, right? Um, Liam, you prompted my memory. Someone shared in the Cub leader meeting we just did. One of her best practices that she has for meetings is in December, every December, the troop that their pack usually bridges to, they run their December pack meeting where they do like a winter carnival type games. So it's an opportunity for families, the kids to meet the scouts and the troop. So that's a good one. So you definitely need to figure out ways to do stuff together.
A great way to do stuff together and a great way to get some leadership experience for your scouts is a robust den chief program. Uh,
Yep.
get those kids out working with the Cubs, helping the Cub leaders out. Um, it gives them leadership experience. It gives them experience teaching skills and things like that. And it makes real strong connections with between the troop and the pack or packs.
100%.
Also, in terms of relationships with packs and stuff, I think you know, troops need to be mindful of how they present themselves, and don't assume that the Cub Scout packs and leaders know what to do, because a lot of them don't. A lot of them are maybe not alumni. They weren't in scouting before. They're just doing Cub Scouts because they brought a flyer home a couple of years prior. So definitely just don't assume and be open to new ideas and you'll have fun.
Yeah, like even with the troop that my son is in, but even before he joined it, they have a great Scout Sunday program. And they go to church, they have a great breakfast, court of honor. And so for me as a Cub master, I was like, oh great, get to do this. We don't have to do anything other than show up. So and it was a great way for the troop to really present themselves. And a lot of the parents they're really impressed, and it's part of our normal pack calendar, and it's great for the troop because they're like, oh hey, look at all these Cubs that came along. So it's a win-win situation.
Awesome. That's great. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. Just one final note. This is the first council-wide troop leader meeting that we're doing, and we're doing them the third Wednesday of the month, 8 p.m. Through May. So we'll have different topics and things coming up. When we first started doing the Cub leader meetings, this was a similar amount of attendance, and we peaked. I think July or August was our highest attendance. We had like 65 unit leaders on at one point. So this could be really great use of information, just sharing. This is great because I see people that I haven't seen before or didn't know that they had certain roles and things like that. So it's great to hear from all corners of the council about this. So again, thank you so much for coming.